California right now, and we're driving the R129. It's a 1994 SL500. We just left the Fox Inn Vineyard, their shack to be more precise, and we are heading back towards the Los Olivos area on a very bumpy and washed out road. This car, people would say, does not belong on this road. It's not a sports car. It's too heavy. It's got an automatic. What a shame. That V8 should have deserved a better transmission. You know what? If you own this car, you already know none of that matters. It's the way that it makes you feel as you're driving is all that really matters. This is the furthest trip I've taken. I live in Orange County, California, so this is about 100 plus miles to get up here. It's the longest trip that I've taken this car on. It's the longest it's been on a road, pointed in one direction, going one way. I baby this car. You guys know, if you've seen my other videos, how I maintain it and repair it. I think a lot about this car. I care a lot about this car, but you know, some of that has prevented me from enjoying this car to its fullest extent. My windshield right now is really dirty. There's a lot of dust on my car that you can't see from the outside. It's on the outside. There's a lot of dust. But I don't think this car could be any happier right now. It's meant to be driven. The people who designed this car and designed this engine meant for this car to be driven. It's not supposed to sit in the garage all the time. I lust after the, 25,000 mile or the 3,000 mile versions of the R129, but then at the same time, you gotta kind of mourn the fact that that car was not used for the way that it was designed. It was built to do more. This road and roads previous in this trip that I didn't film, pretty washed out, very dusty, lots of potholes. This car handled it fine. Didn't handle it perfectly. Doesn't matter. I had a good time. This was where I should be. This is the seat I should be in. And this car is perfect. I encourage anybody who has a car, any classic, but especially the classics from the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s. It's tempting to hoard the magic and keep the car pristine and clean and in your garage, but that's wasted time. Get them out on the road and drive. These things were built to drive. The people who designed them did not think that they would become a classic for anybody at any point. Yes, this is an SL. The name is supposed to conjure up a lot, but ultimately it was built to be driven, and we need to drive these things. And if that's the biggest lesson of my trip, that's fantastic that I've learned that. If this car breaks, which I don't think it will, but if it breaks during this trip, okay, then that just means I drove it, and I got to experience everything I could out of it. If you've maintained your car well, which I think I have, with great mechanics, then you shouldn't feel worried about taking these things out. These aren't frail. They're not brittle. I mean, yes, the plastics on the interior are brittle, but mechanically these things are sound. Get them out on the road. They're fantastic to drive. I hope the road in front of me that you're seeing inspires you to get out and drive. And if you don't have a road like this near you, which trip. Get out there and drive. This is a solo trip for me this time. My wife and son are on their own trip right now, and I miss them desperately, obviously. At the same time, though, I think that this car needed some time with me, and I needed some time with this car to experience what it could provide and what I could learn from it. So we're pulling up to the Andrew Murray Vineyard now, and winery. So I will bid you guys a fond farewell as I pull off into this dirt road with lots of rocks, and I get my car dirty. But that is exactly what this car was built to do. It was built to bring me on this day to wherever I wanted to go. And because it was designed and built so well, it's done it flawlessly. Thank you for watching this unscripted monologue about my car that I love so much. I'm going to have a more pulled together video later that goes over my overall feelings about the car, but for now, enjoy, I guess, all of my ramblings about this car as I pull into this stop. And I will see you later.